So here we are, that was the 2016 AGM for the Channel Island Co-op, Jersey Division. I've just spoken to Ben Shenton. If you want to tell the world who you are.
So I'm Colin Macleod, Chief Executive.
That makes you, presumably, on an everyday basis, the senior guy in the co-op for the whole Channel Islands.
It does, yeah, it does.
The buck stops here.
The buck kind of stops with the board, actually, but the board reserve an awful lot of matters for their own consideration. But on a day-to-day basis, they discharge the running of the society to me.
I mean, I love the idea we've got a vaguely socialist history, culture to it, and it's answerable to a shareholding public, not in the way that big business is answerable, but they're actually here, they've been here tonight, they've gone and had a little bit of supper, it's all been very friendly. That's how business could be run, and that's how this business is run, apparently. Is it as simple as that?
It's not as simple as that, actually. Persuading other people that there is another business model out there that is a little bit more community focused, a little bit more inclusive, is a really difficult job. I mean, last year, we didn't mention it tonight, but last year we helped create co-op bikes out of the closing Total Sport partly, but supporting the creation of a bona fide cooperative business. And actually, I think there's a lot that other businesses could learn from our model.
I said to Ben about of all the last few weeks with everything that's been coming out of Panama, unethical business and the sharp end of unethical business. I mean, this ought to be the model, isn't it, really? You know, for many businesses, this could be the model. Ethical standards, it's all laid out. You could ask questions, you can go to an AGM, you can...
It is, yeah, it is. We love the model. Of course we would, because we work in it every day, but it is slightly frustrating when you go to places like Jersey Business, and we help them understand the co-op bike model, but you go to business school and there's nothing really on the cooperative model. There's lots on limited companies and companies limited by guarantees and partnerships. So trying to get a community thinking about a cooperative as a viable mechanic to generate a new business or to create a new business is a troublesome task, but we're trying to do a little bit.
You had a candidate tonight who was Chamber of Commerce previously. Is the co-op a member of the Chamber of Commerce? I've never been quite sure.
Yeah, we are. We're fully subscribing members of both Jersey and Guernsey Chambers.
Does that mean you take an active part in the Chamber? Or?
We do, yeah. So currently our Chief Operating Officer is the chair of the Retail Subcommittee on Jersey Chamber. And we've participated in various working groups in Guernsey too, because of course we are part of the business community.
From a consumer point of view, do you think the Chamber does all it could do?
I think there are opportunities to do more. There's always opportunities to do more. The Chamber gets tied up in government type issues and lobbying government, and there is a role for that actually, but consumer protection is not something that...
Because the Chamber, I notice, if there's a government scrutiny panel and they invite experts, the Chamber always gets invited, but I don't see the co-op gets invited to comment.
No, we don't. I mean, the Chamber represents the business sector, the IOD do a similar job, and the Jersey Consumer Council represents the consumer. Interestingly, there is a new, or talks of a new policy forum being formed, and the co-op is being consulted on that possible route to provide the forum with access to the community in a different way, which is what we can do.
Are all your employees trade union members, or is that's not obligatory? It's not a closed shop as such?
It's not a closed shop. We offer and we support every colleague that wants to become a trade unionship by fully paying their fees on their behalf, but we don't prevent people from opting out.
Is it helpful to have employees who are members of a trade union?
I think it is. Overall, it is. I mean, the trade union performs an important task in protecting employee rights, and we always make sure that employees are aware of their rights if they come into challenges with their employment. There is that protection there. But from my perspective, having a single point of negotiation on all terms and conditions type of issues is a lot easier, actually. And, as a fair employer, we don't seek to hide anything from the unions. We work with partnership.
You touched on the little bike business which has been set up, but I was asked about the warehouses. What's happened to the warehouses? Because 2 years ago, 2014, I asked about would the co-op see themselves having a role in providing space for small businesses, which because obviously is a big problem here for small little start-up businesses or very businesses which don't make a lot of cash but they employ people in useful activities. Is anything progressed on that? At the time it was suggested perhaps you might look at it. Is that something you've considered?
I think honestly, we don't see ourselves as having a role of providing cheap space to startups. At the time you asked it, there was a plan on the table for Charing Cross that identified some of those older buildings as potential opportunities for business startups. So we were trying to imagine an economically viable use to retain or restore those old buildings. I think what we do, though, is that if we've got surplus space, or even if we haven't, we invite the community into our organisation through flag days and allowing community organisations to collect and interact with our members, and our members love it. But our role we don't see is one that is that philanthropic, where we provide cheap space,
even on temporary space.
If we have it, right? You know, we that's. But we don't see that as one of our core roles. But if we have the space, somebody needs it, and it is not going to inconvenience our members or remove value, then of course we would look at it.
Again, without giving any commercial secrets, what's actually, as far as you know, going to happen to the warehouses? Are they going to be redeveloped to something else, or are they going to be...
We don't know yet. So, I mean, we're offering the Jersey warehouse for sale, either in whole or in part, for lease, or whole and part. And there are some interested parties that we're discussing that with. The Guernsey warehouse, we've got a lease there, so we're looking to assign that lease either in whole or in part. And again, there are some interested parties. We don't see ourselves as property developers, and if whilst there are ideas about what could happen to the Jersey warehouse space, it won't really be down to us, ideally.
In 2014, I did mention that everybody thought Woolworths was absolutely safe as houses, but of course it collapsed just like that. All of a sudden Woolworths was gone. We've got another one looming now, BHS, big central store. What will happen to it we don't know, but it doesn't look very good, does it? These things can disappear. Have you got any ideas on that store, on that premises?
Certainly we've got no interest in it, but I understand that there are a few brands that are clamouring after the BHS business, and Sports Direct has been linked with them in the last 48 hours, and Mike Ashley has got a few brands under his umbrella, so I don't know.
But the business that BHS provide, I mean, people say it was all out of date, but they said that with Woolworths it was out of date, but the shops here always seem to do good business. Now, BHS here, obviously they had a big customer base here. There is a sort of a market here which seems to keep, somehow or other, gets neglected. The businesses move on, but the people are left looking for the shops. Woolworths is sadly missed, and I feel sure BHS will be sadly missed.
Yeah, I agree. But that was, that's changed, because, Briggs of St. Juan occupied, an important place in people's hearts. I tend to agree with both of those statements. I think Woolworths has been missed. I expected a business like Wilko's or a modern version of Woolworths to move in and see the opportunity that Woolworths exits.
And it's the impact it has on that central area. And I'm told that the market, the old central market, the business was virtually decimated immediately Woolworths died, because so much business went via the Woolworths into the market.
Do you know, our town is an important centre of gravity, and everything that's in it adds to that gravity. You take things out of it, you reduce the viability of town. And we have done too much of that. Now, so you've given examples like Woolworths and BHS. I'll give you examples like the Odeon Cinema becoming Cineworld and going the other side of the ring road. Sucking the gravity out of the heart of our community is something that's got to be reversed, in my opinion.
Co-op cinema, a bit gory.
No.
Thanks, Richard.
No, you're welcome. Good to see you.